What is up, guys? Stephen Jeffrey of SJ Relics. I hope you guys are doing well this Sunday. I'm coming to you kind of late. I got back last night from the Ellaville knife show, and mind blown, heart filled and brimming, just to maximum capacity, just for everybody in the knife community and all the great folks that I got to meet, and again, seeing old friends that I haven't got to see. Of course, we talked to everybody online, but seeing everybody in person, there's nothing like that. And it was just an amazing time. I'm going to break this into 2 episodes because I just don't want to get long-winded. The fact of the matter is I've just got too much to share, and I want to do it in a way that makes sense, and the way that honors of course, the gifts. Which I was just so blessed by so many people coming up to me and sticking things in my pocket and just handing me things and just all amazing generosity in this community. So I want to give time to that, and also I've got a lot of pictures to show of many of the folks that greeted me and that I had wonderful conversations with. And I want to give all those folks a shout out. So what I'm going to do in this video is focus on when I got to Ellaville. I pulled into America's, and after I made sure I was at the right hotel and everything was good, I got on my phone and I saw this crazy man. There's a picture of him right here. He was on YouTube, and he was saying, "Hey, we're down here at the Harrison Woods Event Center, and we're getting ready to get set up." And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go down there. So I did. And when I got there, brother Billy Ray, preacher, was in the parking lot. He was on an important phone call. But Seth's son was out there, and they were loading in tables, and Deep South Cutlery was getting set up. And so I snuck inside, came in, and there was Big Jim. He was sitting there behind his table, lining up the knife, shining everything up. And I was able to get all the way around that table and sneak up behind him. But I didn't scare him. I just gave him a hug, because I tell you, it's just such a blessing and very touching, meeting people you talk to and interact with every day. And Big Jim did not disappoint. He's a good friend, and just such a blessing to meet him and finally get to just give him a big old bear hug. And man, we just picked up talking. We just picked up talking right where we're at, and then Brother Rex came over. They have dubbed themselves Cripple and Crazy, and I was trying to figure out which one was Cripple and which one was Crazy. Brother Rex finally let me know who was who, but judging by this photo, I'm still the jury's still out on that one. So anyway, meeting Brother Rex for the first time, when you meet him or when you see him on his videos, he's very very serious and very pastoral, and the way he shares things, and just again, just an awesome way of delivery. But when you meet the man in person, it is another story. Brother Rex is rock and roll. He's just all out there, and it is in all the right ways, just wonderful. And so without further ado, I'm going to get into a few knives, because that first night we were in there, and I spied something on Big Jim and Brother Rex's table, and so I got that knife. I'm going to show those here in a second, and I'll tell that story. But again, guys, an amazing event. I don't want to oversell it, but I don't think there's a way that I can oversell it. I think in no way, shape, or form am I overselling it, because it was just it was amazing from start to finish. And So after I greeted everybody and we just I made my way around the room, first thing I noticed was on Brother Rex's end of the table, he had this case whaler, and this is a 77 whaler. I do believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this came from Deep South Cutlery. I think they had done a deal with Brother Rex. He got it. I had the honor of doing a slip for Louis of Arizona EDC, my good friend Louis. And in fact, we were talking earlier, but he got me to do a slip for his case whaler. And ever since then, after holding that knife, I was like, man, I really want one of those. There's the dots just below. I don't know if you can see those. They're there. There's 3 dots. They're just down below the USA there. There you go. And but this knife came from Deep South, and then by way of Deep South to Brother Rex. Brother Rex cut me a great deal on it, and this was my first buy. And of the show, it's got that little break on the tip. Of course, it needs to be sharpened. It's dull, but all the blade is there, other than that break on the tip. Just a beautiful knife. Sorry about the fingerprints, guys. Just a beautiful knife. And I'm gonna, like I say, I'm gonna sharpen it, and we'll work that out. But I wasn't worried about it because I'm gonna carry it. And man, listen to the snap on this thing. Hold on, let me not interrupt that moment. Nice, firm half stop, and just snaps with authority. There's that case whaler. Back springs there. Everything looks good and clean. I'm gonna polish and rub on this knife a little bit. I hadn't done that. I need to bond with it a little bit. But again, first pickup of the show, and a lot of meaning behind it because it was from Brother Rex's table, and that just meant a lot to me. Second of the show, I made my way over to the Deep South table, and Seth and I had talked here a few months ago. It was back in the summer. Of course, they were gearing up for the Trade Day show, and I had wanted one of these knives. This is their 2024. This is their the Bear & Sons Carbon Series Barlow, and they had, if you connect with those guys, email them or call them at the shop, they will get right back with you promptly. He gave me the best price, and for whatever reason at that time of life, I wasn't able to totally commit to the deal. Sorry, I sounded really southern there. To the deal. And so I asked Seth, I was like, you wouldn't have to have one of those trade day knives? And he's like, matter of fact, I do. So I got this. I love the clip on this. Big Jim has showed one. There's a 234 Trade Days. There's that Bear & Sons Tang stamp, USA. Really, really beautiful knife. Half stop. There's your pen blade. Of course, this carbon steel, CS USA, sorry. I'm still tired, guys. I drove half stop on that pen blade too. I drove last night, and I was getting, by the time I hit around Savannah, Georgia, I was getting bleary-eyed. And there's the Shield Carbon 4th generation, and I love the fact that it has Deep South Cutlery's logo on the bolster. A lot of respect for that family and those guys, and Kevin Stubbs and Heath and Joe and all those guys over there. Just an amazing bunch. Their new stickers, Seth gave me a couple of their new stickers. I really love their new stickers. And yes, it is good times and great knives. Those guys are awesome. Check them out. They do have an online store now. And of course, they still do their show, their YouTube show and their Whatnot show. You will not be disappointed. next in that, I got to meet D.I. Dave, and D.I. Dave is legendary from Knife Doctor's videos. Of course, for anybody who doesn't know, he was a drill sergeant the same time, around the same time, or exactly the same time, rather, the Doc went through at Parris Island. And so D.I. Dave was there. D.I. Dave served and retired from the Marines. Just an awesome, that makes him sound like an old man, but he's not. He's probably just about the same age as Doc, maybe a little older. Just, him and his wife are just a very, just awesome couple, just really nice, down-to-earth people. And so I think he's been collecting knives for about 2 years from what she said. There was a couple of conversations going on there, and that's kind of what I gathered from it. Incredible knife collection. Just top tier, top shelf on everything. But he's passionate about it. Anything he gets into, she says he learns everything about and just goes all in. And people like that, just a lot of respect, because he knows his stuff, knives and patterns, and I respect folks like that. I don't retain all that information sometimes. For me, sometimes it's like, oh, I really like that knife. But we were having several conversations there. There was someone that had come up to me, a gentleman, and I can't remember his name, but we were talking about some slips. And so Dave, as Seth and brother Billy Ray were having a conversation about case knives, and they were showing some elephant toes, and they were talking about this knife. I asked about some 1975 knives, and Dave began to just pick up every knife he had, and he had several. He had more than here. They were 1975, and he showed them to me, and we started talking about one, and I started talking to a gentleman about a slip. Well, Billy Ray was about to make a deal on this knife, and because it was my birth year, they had decided, hey, they were going to give me a go at it. And Dave was he did a trade for a couple of my slips, not one of my slips, but a couple of my slips, and there was some money involved. But I'm telling you guys, he really blessed me. Dave, if you're watching this, thank you so much. This was incredible. Look at the pretty bone on that. Seth was like, Seth pointed at that. He said, that's what it's all about right there, man. And when he offered the deal, Billy Ray was like, if you don't, I will. So it has some pitting on the back springs, but this is a moose pattern. This is a 75 moose pattern. So it has the clip, beautiful clip, just a little bit of rust here, but I mean, guys, never been sharpened, never been toted that I can see. That's just from storage. And I'm gonna do this here, because this is a moose. For anybody familiar with this, it's kind of like a muskrat, but it's got the spay blade on one end. And of course, that is why it has the 6275 SP. I'm sorry for the bar. That's why it has a 6275 SP. And then just look at that. Beautiful knife. I'm going to do some polishing. I'm going to do some rubbing on it. Getting it all cleaned up to put in the collection. And this is going to be a knife that I just look at. And again, coming from Dave, just so much respect to that man. And again, he's been so generous to the knife gang. And again, he really blessed me. So thank you so much, Dave. And that again, that's awesomeness right there, guys. That's a 1975 knife, and I knew what he was offering me, and I'm blown away. So next in that, this was a Grail for me, and Jim Thornton has showed his over in his channel, and I'm always envious. And Seth had his roll of elephant toes out, which he has a beautiful elephant toe collection. And this knife was in the mix, and it is a 1975. And I just want you to show you, look how clean this thing is. I mean, just beautiful. Look at this main blade. The pull on this is not bad at all. I've held quite a few of these. The main blade was tough to open, but this thing is it's about a 7 too, just like the other. There's that elefante on there, and guys, that is, you can see that's not just etched in there, but that is totally embossed in the metal. There's that tang stamp. There's those 5 dots. Listen to that snap. One more time. Let's hear them acoustics for HT. Whew, gator snap. Here's that pen blade. The pen blade is a little harder to pull, but that's notorious with a toenail. I think it's just, again, the size of that spring versus the size of the blade. Beautiful, beautiful pen blade on that. Nice swedge on the top. Again, very clean. Sorry, this one's a little, again, easy on the pull, but just beautiful knife. And that's talking about this knife. Sorry, I bumped the camera. This was an absolute Grail. It's got a little rub right there on the back, which I'm going to polish that thing right there and get it out. But it's a 6250, and again, 1975. This was a Grail knife for me. This is a big deal, but this was a big deal. This was something that I've looked at, I thought was unobtainable, and Dave, if you're out there, and I know you are, thank you, brother. Thank you. He gave me a deal that I couldn't refuse. And this, I think this was the one that Seth said. I think Seth's like, yep, because Seth was interested in this too. And again, they were just all gracious, and that's it, man. I just, if this is all I got from the show, I would have been over the moon. And while we were standing there, the Duke, the knife man, Duke and Penny, and it was just Duke was there. This guy has got the goods. He sets up a major booth. He did last year. That's what he does, is go to knife shows and sell. And he's a character. He's a character to deal with. He won't give you a straight out. He has everything priced, but none of the prices are firm. You just, he says, you look at the price, make me an offer. If the offer is fair, I'll take it. And that's exactly what he did. And more about him later, but here's his info. And he saw me get this. He says, well, come check this one out. And this is a 1965. Listen to that half stop. It's just, this one's like an 8 to 10 pull, probably 9, 10 pull on it. Not bad. I mean, but it's, you gotta pull it. But this one is mint. The smuts there, that's just stuff that can be wiped off. Again, I haven't cleaned these knives yet. Look at that blade. Look at that swedge. So this is a 65 to 69, 11-0-31. That looks like a backwards C, but it's an 031 SH. No bail. Very slim carry. Very, very light knife. Just very light. And now what's interesting is to look at this 77 and then look at this one and just look at the build. Look at the blades. Look at the swedge. Different size in the bolster. Of course, this one says Whaler. But then if you look, now this one's a 1199 SHR. So, and this one's a 11031 SH. Just very cool. Very, very cool. So he gave me a great deal on this. And there was a few other knives on his table, and it was still like this, the show ain't even started, guys. And I was trying to just really not blow it out of the park. And of course, I wanted to see what else everybody else had. And luckily the knives that I looked at ended up being there the next day, and the Duke cut me a great deal on those. But anyway, this is my knife haul from night one. The show hadn't even started, and this is how it started out. So if that tells you anything, the next batch that I will show you, again, you're gonna be equally as blown away by, I think, because I just and all the gifts, I'm gonna share those as well. So many people blessed me at the show, and I'm gonna try to share that in the next video. If not, I'll break it into another video, because that next haul, that next batch of gifts and knives is just it was incredible, guys. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well this Sunday. Thank you for checking out these this first batch with me. I've got again another group, whole another group, and of course a lot of gifts from very generous people in the community, friends in the community. Let me stress that, friends that I met at the show, and that blessed me many times over. And I'm gonna share about that in the next video. All you guys know who you are, and we're gonna talk about you a little bit. But and I'm gonna share some pictures of the people that I met. And guys, it just, again, next year, Ellaville 2026. Be there, be square. It's just awesome. Thank you for checking these out. Get out there, do something, and wherever you go, whatever you do, carry a good knife. This is Stephen Jeffrey saying thank you, and God bless.